Hi everyone, it's Debbie with BookAndBuJo. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. Join me today as I set up my November reading journal. Let's start with the yearly pages here at the front. I don't think I have too much to update on these. I'm currently reading Return to a Dan, and I think that's about it on these ones. Yeah, nothing more to add on these. And so I'm not reading any of these yet. And I did finish all of my Year in Aeldia books here. So I marked those off, and I think I updated my maps here too. I do need to do some back history for both of these and either read some books or see if some of the ones I did in the past work for that. Buzzwordathon, I have everything up to date. I have one book left to read for my 52 book club, which is great. That one is We Used to Live Here. I'm just waiting for the copy from my library for that. I'm doing pretty good with our fantasy bingo. And of course, I finished my horror bingo readathon for 2024-2025. I've got my bookshelves up to date with all the books read. And I'm almost full on my tip-ins as well, so I need to put another one in here. My Bible reading tracker with this really nice red over here. And then I've been updating all of the Kindle books, so if it has one of the dots next to it, that means I've read it. So there's a few I still would like to get to. I'm currently reading The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi, as well as Return to a Dan. And I think that's it for the front pages. I do also need to update my HRCYED spreadsheets. Alright, so I got my trilogy done, I got my standalone, and then I did finish my duology. So the series didn't actually have to be a duology, you just had to read two of the books in the series that weren't the first book. I did finish the Illuminae files, so I had read Illuminae earlier in the year. And then I just finished Gemina and Obsidio, which means the trilogy is done. I think there's a little novella that goes along with, or a short story or something, Memento, maybe? Not sure. I think that's what it's called. And I have not read that one yet, but I should get to it soon. That is if my library has it. It's going to overlap a little bit, but that's okay. So I did get those done. I do still need my quadology, though, and I'm planning on reading the Dandelion Dynasty for that. And then for Chinese translation, I did read Death's End by Cixin Liu. Guess I made these ones a little bigger than some of the others, but that's all right. Then I'd already finished the TBR game, and then for awards season, I do have one more for that one. Let's put that there. And that is Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio, the first book in the Sun Eater series. And that one was an entrant for the award. Okay, and then Challenge Yourself. So I did get some of these ones done, which is very exciting. So I have A Feast for Wolves by Ben Galley. I also have Iron Keys, The Weaver and the Worm, and A Blood for the Forest. And I'm currently reading Dead Stars. I am halfway through, and I should have that finished before the end of October. And all of these are part of the Emaneska series. These ones are all short stories and a novella in that series. And that's it for that one so far, but I am happy to have 4 of those books done. And then we already talked about the Aurelium Readathon, and I did get a bunch of those finished, which was in my September update for my digital books. Oh, actually, let's go back real quick, because over here I have the secret prompts. And for the first one, I did read I may end up putting these ones sideways because I think these ones are going to be too big. Yeah. So we have the body, and that was for July. And then I have the importance of being earnest for August. And then September was the Bone Witch. I did not print that one out. I'm going to have to print that one out. I forgot about that one. And then for October, oh, is The Adventures of Amin al-Sarafi. I'm almost done with that one. Okay, so let's go back over here. Now we have Long Live the Pumpkin Queen was for Art of Illusion for the Magical Readathon. For an autumnal setting. And then for Spells and Incantations, I read Necromancer by Lish McBride. And that was for the D6 prompt. And then for Inscription for the O, I read Title as a Prime Number of Letters, and that was First Flight. And then for Vertical Spine Title, I read Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and that was for the Q in Inscription. And I did complete all of those, so that one is done. And then all the adaptations, I did get some books done for this. Let's see if I can find all of them. Oh, these are going to be too big, I think, for this spot. We'll see. Try and make it work. That one I had already. Just forgot to print out the cover for it. I have these ready to print and these ones ready to print, but I need to fill up the page. I have not filled up the page to print out yet, so it's only partially full, so I want to wait until I get that filled so I don't waste any of my sticker paper. I do need to trim this one a little bit so it fits a little better. That one will work. Okay, and then for the Thursday Murder Club, I watched the movie but have not read the book yet. I do have that on hold at the library, but there's quite a few people in front of me on that. And this one, how much can I trim this one down? That works. Okay, so I do need to print those ones out, so I'll have those ones for next time. And then for the last 10 years, again, Positively Poisonous and Fangs I have on that sheet that I still need to print. The Enchanted Greenhouse for 2025, I do have that one. And that one was so adorable. I loved that book. Disability Rep, nothing else I think that came to mind for that one. Did finish the 24-hour readathon. For Heritage Month, I do have a couple for this one. And those are also on the sheet I need to print. So The Fire Next Time and Conqueror's Blood. And then also for nonfiction, The Fire Next Time, which was for social justice. Okay, for Around the World, I have for South America, the author, it was born in Dominica. And that is The Wide Sargasso Sea, which is also still needs to be printed out. For Asia, I have Death's End by Cixin Liu. And then I still need my Antarctica book, but I did get some really good suggestions from my last video. So thank you all for those suggestions for books set in Antarctica. Okay, Q's Reviews, I've not done anything yet. The Even Bigger Queer Rainbow, I do have non-binary agender, and that is The River Has Roots. And I still need to print that one off. It's on that sheet that I need to finish filling up. And then my September new release was Reckoning by Michael R. Miller. And that's the 4th book in the Songs of Chaos series. That was so good. So good. October, I'm hoping to read Mate. We'll see when I get that in, because I still don't have that in from my library yet. And then for Spirit, I'm still waiting to print off that page, and that's Portraits of the Forsaken. And that's by E.E. Holmes. And then for Other Creature, we have To Green Angel Tower Siege, which is the book 3A in this series, and that's by Tad Williams, and that's the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. To trim that a bit. And the character, one of the main side characters, is Benebik, and he is a troll. There we go. All right, next we have BIPOC Challenge, and I do have for Middle Eastern Conqueror's Blood, and then for Indian, which I need to put on here. Okay, and that one is 10 Incarnations of Rebellion, which I do have here. And that's by Vaishnavi Patel. And that was also a very good book. All right, and we move to the Even Bigger Rainbow. And we have for purple, I have Blood Promise, which of course my printer is black and white, so you can't really tell, but that is by Rochelle Mead. And I believe that is the 4th book in the Vampire Academy series. And then we have for white, I have All the Pretty Horses, and that's by Cormac McCarthy. That was also a good book, very slow paced and set way back when a bit, but that one was a good one, kind of a Western. And then for Make a Quote, I did read The Pickup by Hannah Doyle, and that was really cute. I liked it. Kind of a fun rom-com. So I have one book left to read for that, and I do have that on my November TBR. And then for Become the Avatar, it's all the same. Haven't done anything on that one. And then for animals, I do have a Wild Animal. I need to print off a copy of this, and it's A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana, and there is a fox, which is the main character in the story. And I think that is all I have. I still need to print off Halfway and Fangs, and then Portrait of the Forsaken. And then the rest I just need to print off more of the book covers. All right, and that is it. Everything else I've got all. And yeah, oh, the Pharaoh's Mask, that's also one I need to wait until I can print it off. The page is about half full now, so it won't take too much longer to get those all printed. But that is it for my HRCYED update. And then let's see where I am in October. I will get the stats put in once I have all of those ready to go. All that I've read so far, 17 library books, and I think I might get one more in, and that is Spirit Bound. Hopefully I can get that one in before the end of the month. I do like the coloring in for how long it took me to read each of the different books. I think that looks nicer. And then I did finish my TBRopoly, got all these. I am currently reading Return to Eden, which will definitely be done before the end of the month. I am about 40% of the way through right now, and it's still a few days left of the month, so I will definitely have that finished. And I got most of the year-long readathons finished. I'm currently reading The Adventures of Min al-Sarafi. Once I finish that one, then that one will be done. And a lot of the book club books I ended up pushing into November instead, but if I can get to Spirit Bound and Anne of Green Gables, that would be amazing. And then I completed all 20 prompts for The Long Walk, which is great. I completed This Witch Reads. I just need to print off some of the book covers for that, which I will be doing later today. I'm doing really well with TBR Harvest. I've gotten quite a few in there. I'm actually kind of going through and just seeing if there's any books that I read that fit some of the other prompts and putting those in as well. And I'm just about done with the Pumpkin Patch one as well. And then Spooktober, I'm on Team Foreshadow, and we have completed the foyer, the kitchen, the hallway, the bathroom, the living room, and we are currently in the bedroom. So once we finish the bedroom and move into the final foyer before we can exit. So we're getting close. And Relax and Readathon, I am doing really well. Also, I think I've gone through almost 3 times. I've hit quite a few of the different prompts, which is cool. Some of them are in here twice. So like Discord Vote is in there a couple times. Move 2 Spaces is in there a couple times too. I'm doing well with the Bewitched Spellbook. I've completed 3 sections and made progress on others. And a couple of them I won't be able to finish just because there's not enough time to read more books. But I'm currently reading Return to Eden for Gothtober, and hopefully I can get to Spirit Bound before the end of the month. And then for the Hollow Weekend, I am currently in the bedroom. I've completed all of the other rooms, so I'm in the bedroom, and I do need to read Spiritbound for that one. Did complete Destiny, which was a space of 15, so I do have that one in there. I've also picked up The Ghosty, which was part of one of my other roles, my next role. I need to start Spiritbound so I can get one of my next prompts done. Then I also got a couple books that aren't on my TBR from my library because they finally came in. And one of them I do want to read for this, and that is We Love You, Bunny by Mona Awad. And I'm looking forward to reading this one. I just don't know if I have time for that in October. And then the other one is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang, and I'm looking forward to reading this one too, and it's a really cool copy. I'm not sure how they got the special copy. It's pretty cool. It's got little skulls on the side. Oh man, those are cool. Yeah, great and sprayed edges. Yeah, this is a nice copy. Anyway, I have that one to read as well, and hopefully I can get to that one in November. No extra borrows on those, so gotta make sure I get those read. And then Fabelin, I'm doing really well. I have finished all of the day 4 prompt. I'm currently working on the downtime activities. That is it for October. So before we get started on November, let's look at some of the supplies that I'm going to be using. As always, I have my sticker assist mat, my eraser, and my pencil nub. I've got my scissors and tweezers, my ruler, glue stick, and correction tape, just in case I need any of those. Then I have a bunch of washi tapes. So these ones are from this vintage green collection. These two are from Archer and Olive. Not sure if I'll use this one. It might be a little too blue, but I do like the green. And this is also Archer and Olive from one of the subscription boxes way back when. These two, who knows, random set I got. We'll see if I use these ones or not. And these are from Journal Say. This one is also Journal Say. Has some fun little ones in there. And then I also have these from Archer and Olive from the Halloween and fall collection. And then these ones are the branches with some little spiders and spider webs in there. And then I also have from Archer and Olive these little ephemera papers, which are kind of cool. I was kind of thinking I might want to use this one and maybe that one. So one or both of those. And I also have the Mystical Ephemera book, which has some great stickers in it. And I'll most likely use quite a few of those. And then for pens, I have a couple of Sakuras. I have the Sakura Jelly Roll in this metallic brown, and then I have the orange in the glaze, the 3D pens. I have the Marigold in the Aqua Spectrum Noir, which is a dual tip pen. It's got brush pen on one side and then kind of a fine liner on the other. And we have a couple of Ohuhus. These are the journal markers in 46 and 99 with the brush tip on one side and the fine liner on the other. And then this one is one of their dual tip brush pens in reddish brown. And again, kind of a fine liner on one side and the brush tip on the other. And that's all of the supplies I have. So let's go ahead and get set up for November. For November, I'm kind of going with this kind of a cozy fall, yet somewhat dark academia feel. So for this page is really just this one that kind of gives me that feel. And then some of the other pages, I'm going with a little bit more of the dark academia feel. And here's a couple of those little papers. So we'll see how many pages I end up needing, and I may alternate between the two just to kind of have a little fun with it. And again, kind of that orange, brown, dark green kind of colors. And now for a final flip through. I have my stats page, or the dashboard, and my monthly calendar. So I'll write my book name here, and then what the date I started it through the date I completed it, and any books I got from the library. And then I have my TBRopoly TBR, and then all of my book clubs. I had a lot of fun with the stickers and stuff this time. I've been trying to kind of spread out some of my books a little bit, so it's a little easier than just this big long list of things. And I do like how it turned out. And then I have my read-alongs and my year-long readathons, and I'm currently not participating in any readathons in November, but if I do, then I can always add an extra page at the back. But I know I have quite a few things in December and wanted to make sure I had enough pages for that as well. And thank you so much for joining me as I set up my reading journal for November. And I also had a quote on here that I forgot to read earlier. It says, "There comes a time when you have to choose between turning the page and closing the book." And if you made it this far in the video, leave a book stack emoji in the comments to let me know that you are here. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other bookish content. And until next time, keep reading and keep planning. Bye!